Hello all. I think it's the best time for you to take a look at this. Hopefully it works out for you. Alright, just go through the video and see how it best works out for you. I just used a basic sample for this video, and hopefully this can bring about some ideas for you. I mean, you can try that out. But one thing I noticed though, using 2020-11 V11.52, if you have existing um, textures and you want to reuse them, they do not come with any appearance to them. So what you need to do, from what I'm doing right here, it's identify the name of the texture. Okay, once you can identify the texture's name, just like as it is right there, the one I'm circling right now. Okay, and you go into the texture material itself. Take a look at the texture there, and the description of the texture by name is very important. You might have more than one texture looking alike, just like the one I have, like the backsplash one, and this is another one here. But apparently, there is a place. If you take it, okay, right here, right now, it says textures right there. Note that there's a difference between there, and the other one, which is the new texture library. Now, to save your texture in the best form that you want, with all appearances and textures added to it, you need to right click on the texture you want to use, which is this one right now, and copy it into um, the user texture library. Very important, the user texture library. So just trying to type that out for you. To edit that, that's what you need to do. So notice that appearance there right now, that there is nothing there. It means that this material you want to use has no physical properties. It has no material. The scale existed is 12, okay? And so what I'm doing, I just right clicked it and copied into the user texture library. Then it's going to activate that area. If you can see very well, it's going to activate that area, and that's the same name of the backsplash that I was talking about. Once that is activated, then you can now totally change the appearance itself. Once you click on that, I'm just trying to circle all of that out for you to see. And you know, there's a little tiny button there. That's right there, right there. So that's where you can change the material texture. You need to pick up one. What group does this material belong to? You need to pick up one. I'm sure it's definitely going to fall either under quartz. Um, so it's going to be under mineral. All right, some like mineral resources. So once you select mineral, it's going to open up the type and the finish and the coating on it. So I'm selecting mineral, and I'm going to choose what will I choose right now? Let's say I'm just going to choose probably um, maybe ceramic or something. Not sure yet, but probably I'll just choose ceramic. And so once I choose the ceramic, then I can now go under the finish properties on the right side. Okay, the finish property on the right side. This is where you determine the glossiness. That's the glossy feel. But I must warn you, if you choose anything that's like from the finish, if you choose medium polish, it's going to be dark. So I usually stick with horned or brushed or something. I just stay with horned, and then go on the coating on top of it, and I make it satin. Like the satin finish. And once that is done, you can see a little bit of glossiness on that right now. You can feel something like that. But the glossiness is not as much as if you chose something else. Alright? And so once you know all of this principle, it's easy for you to just change the material. Now you can get a little bit of the glossy feel, just to make the material a little bit real. If you make it too glossy, it's going to almost look like a mirror finish. So your major key is the material setup, which I just showed you right now. Yeah, so if you want to make it glossy, then there's a new process to that. Alright, that's what I'm going to show you next right now, how to make this glossy. And you just go back through the same process, do everything all over again, and well, right now you don't have to copy this texture into the user texture library because it's already existed in there. So all you need to go is to go to the user texture library, right there. Once you go there, select, just find that material and modify the material. Okay, so that's the material right there, and then you can modify it. And once you modify it, you can change it from what it is to medium polished and semi-gloss. That's gonna make it so glossy, but it's gonna look darker than the rest of it. You can almost see a mirror finish, a reflective finish on the material. That's how you play with this and modify all of that. Did you get that right? So that's the reflection on that material, and that's how things go by. Hopefully this works well for you, and then you can try this. If you have any questions, you can just ask me. And after this process, I'm going to do the countertop so that you can also see what the countertop looks like. Then after a while, I will pause the rendering and show you the final result. There might not be too much final result because I already did that in the glossy field before. But I will try to show you the differences between the glossy texture. Now you can see that there's more reflection on that material from the sun to the window. So you can see that gives a better reflection. So what I'm trying to do next is to show you the countertop texture. If you look at it currently right now, it's the same color like the other side where you have the faucet and all that. It is the same color, but I want to change this specific one to something different. Okay, I just want to make this one have more of the glossy feel to it. Now the other ones have no materials on top. If you look at it very well, it shows there's no appearance to this. Check out the material name. It's called granite. So the process, don't forget, you need to right click. If you have an existing material, to right click this material, and once you right click the material, you copy it into the new texture library to activate the appearance. Okay, so that's it right there. So once you've done this once to that material, it saves itself in the new texture library. So you don't have to always copy it again. You just go into that texture library and modify it. You can as well also change the texture by going to select another JPEG image, rename the description of the material if you want to, and you can do a lot of stuff for it. And so right now I'm going to make it a polished medium and make it satin. If I had actually made it semi-gloss, oh my goodness, it's going to really shine. But that would be a little bit unnatural for something that's marble kind of, so I'll just try to make it in between. Excuse me. And that's about it. So what I'm going to do basically is to pause. I'm just going to put a pause to this rendering and then come back after for you to see the final product. Hopefully that resolves itself for you, and we can end up with everything like that. That's about it. I'm trying to set up all this. It's kind of heavy, so once you try to set the perspective, it's dragging because the information contained in this is a lot of megabytes. So you can see now the colors are different. You see the glossy color, it's kind of darker compared to the other one on the left side of the range. And so you have to be very mindful. The more you make it glossy, I notice the darker the material becomes. So the lesser the glossiness or the coating on top, the better, the brighter it becomes. Unless you have a lot of light to show and expose that area, you're probably going to be running into the same issues. So I'm trying to set up this right now to render, and I'm going to hit render. And once I hit the render button, it's going to be easy for you to just going to pause this right now and then resume, you know, in a few minutes, so that this can all be done. And it's voila, that's it. It's paused and finished. So right now, this is the final product. As you can see, apparently it is glossier, but slightly darker than the one on the left. So if you want anything brighter, make sure you reduce the glossiness. The glossy feel has to tone down. If not, not all materials will respond to the glossy feel. The glossier the material, or the more glossy, I don't know which one is better, but the more you put the gloss feel on the material, the darker that material will be. And so try to adjust sometimes, and sometimes I use very plain colors, and I go to play with the appearance textures, and just to give me, for example, if I have a solid countertop color, I just use the basic solid colors. So that's about it for the training today. Take it easy, and hopefully this works for you. Alright, thanks, and bye bye.